So last time we did finish number 4, right? Let's continue on. But I do want to talk a little bit more about this example 4 because it's sort of interesting. You know how we use that formula h equals to the height. So we plug in 49 there, and then rate was 34.3. And so we've solved this, and we got t equals to, you guys remember, look at your notes. T equals to what? 5 and 2. So why did we get 2 solutions for this height, 49 meters? We sort of talked about this at the very end. Yeah, Carolyn?
Oh, because it's the time it goes up and we use it and then it comes back.
Exactly. It reaches that height as the arrow goes up after 2 seconds from the beginning. And then after 5 seconds from the very beginning, right, it reaches 49 meters again because as it comes down, right? Whatever goes up must come down. Does that make sense? Yes? So looking at this, let me ask you this question. You might want to write this down somewhere. What if I asked you this, extra? When will the arrow reach the highest point? Highest height. I want you to think about it as a group, because this is the extra things that they may ask you or I may ask you later. If this is what's happening, when will the arrow reach the highest height? Go ahead, everybody think about this. I'll wait.
Wait, what was the question?
All right, Spencer, what did you guys come up with? 7 seconds. That's interesting because, look, think about this. The time, as soon as, let me, hold on. We got 7 seconds, right? Because I bet you add 2 and 5, right? So look, when time equals 0, what's the height of the arrow? 0. It's on the ground, right? Okay, so right after it goes, after 2 seconds, it reaches 49 meters, right? And after 3, 4, 5 seconds, it comes back to 49 meters. So you think that after 5 seconds, which is, you said 7 seconds. So after that 5 seconds, is it going to reach the highest? Is it going to go up again? No, it's coming down, right? So it's got to be between 2 and what? 5 seconds. So when?
3.5.
Eric, what did you say? 3.5. Yeah, it's half of between 2 seconds and 5 seconds, right?
Well, you said 3.5?
Did you say 3.5 or 2.5?
I said 3.5.
3.5 is the answer. Right? Isn't it average of the 2 and the 5 seconds? Right? It's not 7 seconds. You almost got it. You have to divide that by 2.
I thought it
Because-
was 3.
Why should it be 3?
5 minus 2.
Oh, okay. So 5 minus 2 wouldn't work because look, think about it. After 2 seconds, right, it goes up. And how long is the arrow, right, traveling from 2 seconds to 5 seconds? That's what?
3.5.
No, how long is, that's 3 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
To go from here
Oh, yes.
to here. What's half of, but right up in the top, that's 1.5 seconds, right? So what's 2 plus 1.5? 3.5.
Oh, I
So you could think of it that way, or, right, you could find the average of these two numbers, 2 and 5. How do you find the average of the two numbers? Isn't that the middle point? How do you find the number right between 2 and 5? You take the average. So you could think about it that way, or you know that it takes 3 seconds to go from 2 to 5 seconds, right? So how do you go to right in the middle? Well, half of 3 seconds, which is 1.5. So you could think of it as 2 plus 1.5 as well. You still get the same answer. Do you understand? Does this make sense? And that's kind of interesting. When the arrow reaches as the highest point, do we get 2 solutions like the other ones? No, we don't. How come? Because it is at the highest place. Does that make sense? It doesn't stay. It doesn't like stop. Right? Right? As soon as it reaches the highest point, it doesn't stop. You know what I mean? It reaches at one right? At one point and then comes back down. So all the other time, right, when the height is at like 49 meters or whatever, right? Anything below the highest height, you're gonna get 2, right, solutions in terms of this time, right? It'll reach that height. But then, except for when it's the highest place, right? For the highest height, right, you only have 1 solution for this time, correct? Right? Does that make sense? There's only 1 instance that the arrow will be at the highest height. Everything else is gonna have, right, 2 instances, right? Because it's whatever goes up, as it goes up, it'll reach that height, and as it comes down, it'll reach that height, except for the highest place. Does that make sense? Yes, sir.
Like, for one of the questions on the homework, I think it was 24,
No, hold on to that. Yeah. So that's why I'm going over this. Yeah. Some of the homework question asked these kind of questions. So that's why I'm going over these. Okay. Good question. All right. So what's the second one? Think about this one. Whoops. When will the arrow hit the ground then? Just by looking at this, you can sort of figure this out. If it took 3.5 seconds to get up to the highest place, yeah. 7, because it took 3.5 to reach the highest right place. Guess what? It's going to take the same amount of time to come down. So 3.5 to reach this highest. As it comes down, it's going to take 3.5. So 7 seconds is total. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. What about this? What is the highest height? How can you figure out the highest height?
What?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing.
Okay, think about this. I'll wait. Go ahead. Ask your group member. Go ahead. I'll wait. I'll wait, guys. Go ahead. Think about it. How would you do this? How would you find the highest height of this arrow? But what do we know about the highest height of this? How we know how long it takes to get up to that height, don't we? So that's a hint. Go ahead. Everybody think about it. So how did you get the answer?
Because every 2 seconds it goes up 49 meters. So,
Actually, to find the highest height,
yeah.
you plug in 3.5 to the formula,
Oh, I know how to do
right? Why? Why do we plug in 3.5? Where did I get 3.5 from? Yeah. Hmm? That's the time it takes to reach the highest point, right? So what's our equation? H equals to RT minus 4.9 T squared, right?
Yes.
So what is the H?
Hi.
Yeah, so do we know that?
No.
No, this time we don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. Do we know the rate?
Yes.
Yeah, what was it? From the 34.5. What is the time? 3.5, right? Look, plug this in. Go ahead, everybody. Go ahead. If you have a calculator, you may use that. Okay, go ahead, plug it in, see what you get. I'll wait. How many people got the answer? Did you get this? You should have gotten this. 120.75 when you punch into your calculator. By the way, when you punch this into your calculator, are you going to do 4.9 times 3.5 then square it? No, you have to square this first. You still have to follow the order of operation, right?
Yes.
So 3.5 times 3.5 times 4.9. When you subtract, did anybody get the answer?
Me.
What'd you get?
Hold up.
I thought you got.
60.025.
There you go. What was it? Meters? Yeah, meters. Okay. So that's the highest height, correct?
Yes.
After 3.5 seconds, the arrow will be at this height, 60.725 meters. Does that make sense?
Also, do you multiply it?
Yeah, T squared means 3.5 times 3.5.
Wait, 0.25.
Yeah, 60.025, right?
You have 7.
Oh, did I? If I give on the test, I'm not gonna give you something like this, but something for this one is okay. Oh, did I? Is it 60 point what?
Oh, you did the first is the RT. It's 120.05.
Oh, 120.05? Is that right? Sorry. So what's the answer? 60.0. 60 point. Like this? Okay, sorry. Any questions? Yes. This is a very simple question, but people didn't really understand on the homework. It says, what is the height of the arrow when it hits the ground? This is really simple. H is equal to 0. Okay, so that's another way of saying height equals to 0. Does that make sense? Right? Yeah. No, that's not the answer. You have to know that in order to do some of your homework problem. Because, have you noticed on one of your homework problem, right? It says, I think it was the, something went up in the, yeah, when it goes up in the air, it says, how long does it take to come back to the ground or something? When it comes back, when something goes up in the air and comes back on the ground, guess what? The height of that object is 0. Okay, then we'll go over that. But does that make sense, guys? So this is another way of them saying the height equals 0. There's another time when height equals 0. Anybody remember? We just did it. Right before it goes up in the air, right? So when time equals to 0, right? The height is 0. Does that make sense? Before it goes up, t, but that one sort of is too easy. Okay. Does this make sense? All right, let's do example 3 now from last night. And from the notes. Okay, here we go. All right, somebody read this for us. How about Young? Go ahead. Song, I mean, yeah.
A decorator plans to place a rock in a 9mm by 12
Meter. Room.
so that a uniform strip of flooring around the rock will remain uncovered. How wide will the strip be if the area of the rock is to be half the area of the room?
Very good. Now,
Very good.
what does this mean when you have something like this? First of all, do we know the area of the room?
No. No. Not the room. Yes.
Yes, we do.
What?
They told us the area of the room is what? Yeah, it says right there, right? 9 meter by. Do we know the area of the rock?
No.
Not quite, but do we know what this looks like?
Oh. Yeah.
Wait.
Okay, raise your hand if you think you know what this looks like. How are we going to place this rug in this room that is 9 meter by 12? This is really important. How's it going to look like? Yes, Dana? It's in the center. And what about the the area of that rug is half of the room.
Also.
Okay. Also, how much wide will the strip be?
We don't know.
Caroline, you don't know what this looks like? You have a room. Yeah, you have a rug right in the middle, and we want the strip be the same length, like this. Isn't this what we want?
Yeah.
Right? You have the rug in the middle. We want this distance to be x. We don't know that. We don't know that width of that strip. Does that make sense? But it has to be uniform all throughout, right? So therefore, uniform means the same unit, right? So therefore, it's got to be from here to be x, here x, here x, and then this is x. So what's the dimension of this rug then? You see how the whole thing is 12 by 9? So it's 12 minus, is it just x or 2x? 2x, because you have x on the left and x on the right, on both ways. Yeah, and also, is it 9 minus 2x or 9 minus x? 2x, because, exactly. Do you see what this is? Do you see what it looks like? Once you know what it looks like, and once you figure out the length and width of the rug, this problem is really easy. Because, how are you going to come up with an equation? What did they say? The area of the rug is what? Half of the area of the room. Correct? Guys, listen. So, do we know how to find the area of the rug? It's length times the width, which is equal to, is means equal to, right? What does half mean? Half means half, right? Okay. What's the area of the room? Well, 9 times 12. Everybody, can you come up with the equation then for this? Go ahead, everybody. Come up with the equation. Help each other out. I'll wait. Go ahead, everybody try. Oh, by the way, what is the unknown in here? What's the x? X is the? What are you gonna say? Class? How wide the width? Okay, I wrote width of the strip. Is that okay? All right. So who has the answer? So I even wrote this down for you. The formula is area of the rug equals to half of the area of the room. Somebody tell me how to write the area of the rug. Yes, Livy?
12 minus 2x
That's not times, good.
times 9 minus 2x.
You got it. How many people agree with Libby that the area of the rug is 12 minus 2x times 9 minus 2x? Is that easy? Okay, Michael, what about the right side? So what does that equal to? Half of the area of the room. So we write half times what? Half times, what's the?
108.
Yeah, because you get 12 times 9, right? I didn't write 108. I just wrote it this way. Because I know I could just kind of cross cancel. So what is half of 9 times 12? Isn't it 54?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now, do you know how to solve an equation that looks like this?
Yes.
We're going to use what property? Zero product property. Go ahead, everybody try. I'll wait. Brandon, after this, did you subtract both sides by 54?
Yes.
Okay, so then what do I do afterwards here? Then what?
You factor out the GCF.
Before you do that, don't you have to multiply these two binomials together? Yeah. Did you guys do that first? Okay, did you all get, when you multiply these two binomials, right? Did you get 108 minus 24x minus 18x plus 4x squared minus 54? And you have your like terms. How many people got this? 54 minus 42x plus 4x squared equals 0. Good? Now, is this the best way to write this, or should you write this in standard form? Okay, so did you then write it this way? Okay, then of course we're going to try to factor this. And Brandon, what do we do now? Now you need to factor out your GCF, which is, what do you have GCF of? 2. So did you all do this, guys? And of course, if you have a number multiplying this equal to 0, what can you do with that number multiplying this whole polynomial? Divide both sides by 2. It's just simply gets rid of it like that, right? Because it's just 2. Then you get 2x squared minus 21x plus 27 equals to 0. Now you have a trinomial. So how many ways are there to get 2x squared when you multiply two binomials? 2x and x. And so how many ways are there for 27? 1 and 27, 3 and 9. That's it, right? Okay, so go ahead, everybody try. Everybody factor. So we know that we have to have 2x and x plus something, right? Now, for 27, you get 1 and 27 and what? 3 and 9. Does the order matter this time?
Yeah.
Yes, it does, because the first coefficient of these two binomials are different, correct? So which one works? Which one should we try first? 1, 27 or 3, 9 first?
3, 9.
Yeah, so we should try 3, 9 or negative, 3, 9 or 9, 3. They both have to be negative, isn't that right? Because the number has to be positive 27 and the middle number has to be negative. Which ones work, Livy?
I put 3 with 2x,
Mm-hmm.
and then 9 with x.
Don't they both have to be negative? Yeah. So there you go. Doesn't this work? What is 2x times negative 9, class? Negative 18x. What about x times negative 3? Negative 3x. Doesn't that give you 21? Negative 21x. All right. So this is true if each one of these are 0. So what are your solutions? You have 2 of them. Jason?
X equals 3 over 2
Mhm.
or x equals 9.
Good, because 2x minus 3 equals 0 or x minus 9 equals 0. I crossed this out. I rejected x equals to 9. Why is that one rejected? Anybody? How come I only have 3 over 2 as my solution? Even though they're both positive this time, right? So why can't it be 9 then? Why do you think I rejected one of the answer here? Go ahead, talk to your group. What do you guys think? I'll wait. What do you think? All right, how many people think they know why we can't use x equals to 9? How about, who haven't I? Chris, why not?
Oh man, I know.
Hold up, Chris. Mimi?
The width of the room is 9.
Yeah, width of the room is 9. How can the strip be 9 when the width of the room is 9? That's too big, right? It's impossible for the strip to be 9 if the width of the room is 9. Does that make sense? So be careful. Whenever you get these answers, you got to make sure they work, it makes sense. So therefore, only solution that you get is what? 3 over 2. So the strip must be what? 1.5 meters. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions? So some of you do this on your homework. So I want to discuss this. This is a very simple question. If I have this, it's already factored. How many solutions do you get for this?
2.
How many people say 3? How many people say 2? How many people say 1? Okay, it is 1, Jason, you think?
Yeah, 'cause don't you divide by 2x?
Okay, I divide by 2, you're right. And then I get, how many solutions do I get? This is true if x is equal to 0 or x plus 2 equals 0. You get 2 solutions, right?
How do you know when to divide the whole thing? You can't divide both sides.
Variables can't be divided.
So, did you hear what he said? Okay, listen, and I'm going to show you exactly why you can't do that. Okay, watch this. So, do you see how we get 2 solutions? X equals 0 or x equals negative 2? Now, what if you did, okay, wait a minute. Why can't we, this is wrong way, by the way. Jason, if I divide both sides by 2x, how many solutions do you get this time? Just 1. You see, when you do this, you lose one of your solutions. So you cannot divide both sides by something with variable in it. Does that make sense? Because if you do, then you lose one of your solutions. Does that make sense? So please don't do that. Okay? Because, right? Why not then divide this by x minus 2, x plus 2 here? right? Then you get nothing, right? Okay, so you can't do that, okay, guys? So please do not divide both sides by something with variable. Just the number is fine, okay, like 2 or whatever. Constant number is fine. Do you see why this is wrong? You lose one of your solution. Okay, so that's why I want to show. Any question? Okay, good.